I've been in this industry for almost 20 years, a little over 20 years actually, and I've had my fair share of unique individuals. And I'll say this up front, full disclosure, I'm only talking about less than 0.05% of my clients. The majority of my clients have been very lovely, splendid people to work with. So I'm only talking about maybe the slight handful of clients that I've dealt with in my career. But I think many of you reading and listening can commiserate with some of these difficult clients I'm going to talk about. So number one would be the vague clients. So these are the clients that come in with very vague goals. They kind of meander with their training and they meander with their goal setting. So these are the individuals that will say something to the effect of, I want to lose 10 pounds, or I just want to be stronger, or I want to look like so-and-so, name a celebrity. I find that what we need to do is dig a little bit deeper. So number one, I'll say, well, why do you want to lose 10 pounds? Or what benefits are you going to get from getting stronger on your deadlift? Just so I get a little bit more information and we can dig a little bit deeper. But more importantly, I try to direct them towards more performance-based goals. So to be a little bit more specific with them. So rather than saying I want to lose 10 pounds or I want to get stronger, I'll direct them to something to the effect of, all right, well, how about we train to do our first strict chin-up, or that we train to do a 2 times body weight deadlift, or a specific number. Where I feel there's value in that is it derives intent and purpose in their training. And that is a game changer when it comes to getting results. So that would be how I would deal with a vague client. Number two would be the late client. So as personal trainers, we understand, or we all know that a chronically late client can blow up our schedule. So rather than pointing our fingers and yell at the client like you're late all the time, like that won't work. Be positive at first. Be like, listen, you're making this a goal and a priority. Like, you're coming here. That's great. However, I've noticed a trend that you're being late all the time, and that kind of blows up my schedule, and it makes all my following clients like be late with their sessions. And is there anything I can do or we can do together that will help get you back on track? So I find that sandwiching the issue with a dose of positivity on the top and the bottom oftentimes helps with these clients. Number three would be the bulk-a-phobic. So whether we're talking about male or female clients, this issue arises in both cases, but oftentimes it tends to lean a little bit more towards the female category, where they're look at a barbell and they're afraid they're going to put on 15 pounds of muscle. I wish it were that easy, but it's not. And in years past, early in my career, I would always try to win the argument and say, well, you're not a man, you don't have testosterone levels, and you being worried about lifting a barbell a few times is like me worrying about driving a car and not turning into a NASCAR driver. Winning the conversation is not going to solve anything. So instead, again, a scenario where we can dig a little bit deeper and say, well, is this something that has happened in the past? Or why do you feel this way? Is this because a previous trainer told you that? And oftentimes having this conversation gets a little bit more of a better rapport between trainer and client, and then we can kind of diffuse the disinformation. So I often find that helps. Number four would be the complainer. And these are the individuals who just complain about goblet squats and pallet presses and deadlifts. Every exercise you do, they complain about it, whether it's too hard, it's just not that it's painful, but it's just too hard, or they roll their eyes, or they give you a gaspy breath. My wife, Dr. Lisa Lewis, who is a psychologist, would say, what we need to do is kind of lean into that as well, and just say something to the effect of, what I hear you saying is that you're not happy with this exercise, or you're not hitting your marks with this exercise. I agree. Why do you feel that is? Why do you feel like this exercise is not going to get you to your goal, or this exercise is not going to help you get stronger? And that's just a really smart way of leaning into it without being condescending, and kind of putting the onus on them to come up with the answer. So it's a nice little quick trick to deal with the complaining client. And lastly, now we deal with the clueless clients. So these are the clients that come in and say, well, I read about this fast, or I read about this diet called keto, I read about this certain exercise or programming that we should be doing. Again, not you don't want to win the argument, but you want to, of course, them to death and say something to the effect of, yeah, of course you want to try this new diet. Everyone's doing it. It seems like it's everywhere. However, does it fit your goal? Of course you want to, skip your at-home workouts this weekend and watch Netflix. Like there's a lot of great shows on there. I get it. But is that going to get you to your goal? Of course you want to, I don't know, look like He-Man. He's massive, but he's a fictional character. Let's get you to your goal. So I think the of coursing people to death, it kind of leans into empathy. So you're empathizing with your client, which then they'll like, because like it means you're listening to them. But then you get them back on track and get them on course to their goal.